Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed that film. Our next speaker for this evening is Mr. Ashwani Kumar, Secretary to Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat. Mr. Kumar joined the Indian Administrative Service in 1997 and has held various distinguished positions in public administration in Gujarat, including Secretary for Urban Development and Urban Housing, where he has contributed extensively to the execution of flagship schemes for affordable housing. Gujarat Housing Board constructed 15,000 affordable homes for people in various categories under his leadership. Mr. Kumar has a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from IIT Kanpur. And for those of you who are not familiar with IIT Kanpur, it may come as a surprise to you that it is more difficult to get admission into IIT Kanpur than Harvard. Mr. Kumar, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Her Excellency, Mr. Gopinath ji, Mr. Douglas Fu, all the dignitaries present over here. I'm indeed glad that you have come in such a large number. There is an overwhelming response from all of you. In fact, today is the third day of the visit to Singapore. We have met many business leaders in Singapore, some government companies we have also met. There is general excitement about what is happening in India and what is happening in Gujarat. Throughout the world, I think everybody is looking at India with great hopes and aspirations. Why India is becoming such a great spot for investment, for opportunities? I think Prerna has shed some light on it, but I would like to take it further. What are the distinct advantages of working with India? As you know, India is first among the world's fastest growing economies. And India is the third largest economy in terms of GDP, if you look at PPP terms. And with Singapore, we have a golden jubilee friendship, which goes back to 50 years. Honorable PM of our country, he visited Singapore in November 2015. Honorable Prime Minister of Singapore visited India just very recently, as mentioned by Her Excellency. And Singapore's trade with India stands at $16 billion as in 2014 and 15. And Singapore is the second largest FDI contributor to India. That shows a lot about the depth of relationship between India and Singapore that we had for over 5 decades. And when we talk about Gujarat, if you have decided that you want to invest somewhere outside Singapore, you look at various opportunities and you zero down on, say, you want to invest in India because India is a growing economy, fastest growing economy, is one of the leading countries in the world, then certainly we would like to present a case of Gujarat. Why Gujarat is the most preferred destination for most of the companies who want to invest overseas. Gujarat has got an entrepreneurial spirit, as mentioned by Mr. It's a win-win situation. India is a big market, as all of you know, and Gujarat has got a population which is very, very business friendly. I am in IAS. I come from the northern part of the country. We serve in different parts of the country. That means we get a state to serve and we come to center also. But Gujarat is very different. People are very business friendly. The informality, the kind of communication between the politician, between the ruling class, between civil servants and the businessmen is very much there. They talk to each other in a very informal manner, over a cup of coffee. They exchange ideas. They seek feedback from each other. So there is not just the continuity in the policy. There is also a process of receiving active feedback. Civil servants, politicians, ruling class, chief minister, prime minister, they receive feedback from the public at large and business houses. And if there is a requirement of changing the policy mid-course, such kind of changes are also made in Gujarat. That's why Gujarat has been the most preferred destination for most of the companies. Companies which have already come to Gujarat, if you go and talk to them, they would like to be in Gujarat till they want to do business in India. Such is the culture of Gujarat. The Gujarati culture. We love each other. Festivities, the informality, sitting with each other, discussing over a cup of coffee, having meals together. And it is not considered something bad to interact with business class, to interact with politicians. This kind of environment we see only in developed countries where business community and the political class, they work hand in hand and try to drive the policy. If you look at Gujarat, having 5% of the population of India and just 6% of geographical area, it contributes to more than 7% of India's GDP. 19% of India's industrial output, that comes from Gujarat. 41% of India's port cargo is handled by Gujarat ports. 19% of India's exports are from Gujarat. So this is the position of Gujarat vis-a-vis other states in country. We are consistently among the top 5 FDI recipients in India, and it comes mainly in infrastructure and manufacturing sector. We are the national leader in 15 manufacturing sector, and with a CAGR in this sector to the tune of 19% in last 6 years. We are also pioneer in tapping unconventional sources of energy. In fact, Gujarat was the first mover in case of wind energy as well as in case of solar energy. We have the second highest solar power installed capacity in India, that stands at 1,130 megawatt. And we are also the world's first canal-based solar power project. There is a large canal network based on Narmada River, Sardar Sarovar Narmada Dam project. And the world's first canal-based system is placed on that canal only. And there is a gross potential of more than 10,000 megawatt of wind power. Some of them are already installed and some of them are all in pipeline. We also have a strong port infrastructure in India with 1,600 kilometers of coastline, 23% of India's waterfront. It is dotted with 47 ports. And we handle, Gujarat alone handles over 40% of India's cargo. And these ports are both in public sector as well as in the private sector. The distinct thing about Gujarat is that it provides opportunity to private players also to thrive. It's not largely state-driven. Public sector is very profound, very active, very robust, but at the same time, we provide opportunities to the private sector to come, complement, excel, and do business and earn profit. There is also a landmark development coming in Dholera Special Investment Region. A bit of that was mentioned in the movie. In fact, that is on Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, as mentioned by Prerna in her presentation. The advantage is that it has a developable area of more than 550 square kilometers. If you compare it with the size of Singapore, then certainly you can conceive the potential that this area, Dholera Investment Region, has. It's a greenfield project. We are looking for anchor investors who can take care of the development of special investment region. And this has already been declared as National Industrial Manufacturing Zone, which comes with so many incentives from central and state government. And we are looking for a smart and sustainable social infrastructure in Dholera Special Investment Region. So this is one of the opportunities in which Singapore-based companies can collaborate with companies which are based in Gujarat and kind of take it forward in a meaningful manner. This is one of the futuristic projects of Gujarat. Gujarat has always thought 20, 30 years down the line. In fact, Gujarat used to be leader in industrial production even in 1980s. When other states of India, they were simply struggling to put the infrastructure, basic infrastructure in place. They were considering putting road network in place. They were considering putting their transportation network in place. Gujarat was far ahead of other states of the country, even in early 1980s. The second landmark development that is already, it's a brownfield project. So many industries have already come up. Is Petroleum, Chemical and Petrochemical Investment Region, that is PCPIR. This is near Dahej. Some of you must have heard about it. Basically, it's a concentration of petroleum, chemical and petrochemical estates around PCPIR. This is a special economic zone. There is a LNG terminal at Hazira and Dahej, liquid fuel jetty and solid cargo jetty is there. There is already so much of development taking place in and around that region. So that again provides an opportunity for Singapore-based businesses to come and collaborate with business houses, those who are already working in this area. So an alignment with these companies is a possibility if you want to work in a short to medium term basis. Similarly, Gujarat is highly urbanized. Whereas the national average of urbanization is at 31%, the urban population in Gujarat is about 43%. If you kind of compare it with the urbanization in Singapore or maybe in London or maybe in Berlin, maybe in Rome, you will not be able to appreciate it. But India being a very huge country with 29 states and 7 union territories, with a largely based on primary sector, agriculture and agro products, 43% of urban population concentrated in 4 major cities and 4 medium-sized cities speaks a lot about the intervention that is being taken by government to provide employment opportunities in urban centers. There are 6 cities in Gujarat out of total 100 selected in India which are going to be developed as smart cities. We are not only looking at providing good roads, good public transport, good wastewater management, good water management, affordable quality housing to the poor, but we are also looking at providing high-speed broadband connectivity, technology-based solutions, public transport whose backbone is basically linked very, very profoundly with technology available. So there is also an opportunity of working in these smart cities. There are avenues of public sector participation and there are avenues of private sector participation also. So this development of smart cities is going to be the next big thing in India because there are 100 in numbers and 6 of them are in Gujarat. You would be surprised and glad to know that Surat, Rajkot, Vadodara and Ahmedabad, 4 major cities of Gujarat, they have been ranked among top 15 cleanest cities in India under Swachh Bharat campaign. This Swachh Bharat or Clean India campaign is again kind of pioneered by our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, and Gujarat is taking a lead because he is from Gujarat and we take pride in kind of fulfilling the vision provided by our Prime Minister. Then Gift City is recognized as the first model greenfield smart city in India. A detailed presentation on Gift City will follow. That's why I am not going to go in detail about it. A question which comes to the minds of investors who are not very familiar with India and more particularly with Gujarat is whether we have skilled manpower, whether can we provide required number of engineers, technicians to service the industry. You will be glad to know that more than 72,000 engineering graduates, they pass out from different engineering colleges based in Gujarat every year. And they are highly qualified engineers. In fact, there is one IIT in Gujarat, IIT Gandhinagar, which is also kind of producing more than 400, 500 engineers every year. Then there is a Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Technology, Nirma Institute of Technology, Gujarat Technical University. So the scenario that was there 10, 15 years back is changing very fast because of the consistent policies of government of Gujarat. In fact, Mr. Modi, before becoming Prime Minister of the country, he was the Chief Minister of the state for more than 12 years. So, in fact, these seeds were sown by our Prime Minister when he was Chief Minister. And now we are kind of reaping the benefits of it. In fact, apart from these engineering colleges, we have around 780 industrial training institutes where we provide vocational training, and more than 171,000 trainees come out of it every year. So we have IITs, we have IIM, we have Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Technology, we have MICA, we have NIFT, we have NID. So these are all national level institutions in different areas based out of Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. Apart from that, Gujarat is also an exciting tourist destination. We have Asiatic lions. They are found only in Gujarat, in Junagadh, a place near Junagadh. We have white desert of Kutch. We have handlooms. We have beaches. We have Sun Temple at Modera, which is more than 2,500 years old. We have ruins of Lothal, the ancient civilization. It was based in Gujarat, very close to Ahmedabad. If you happen to visit Gandhinagar during Vibrant Gujarat Summit, you can go and visit Lothal as well. And then we have Kite Festival. The Statue of Unity is going to be the tallest statue in the world. And we are working on it, maybe within 2 to 3 years. This Statue of Unity and the entire project will come up near Narmada Dam. So we have many things to offer to the world. If the tourists come to Gujarat, there is an immense potential to show them different places in Gujarat. And you will be glad to know that tourist arrivals in Gujarat have grown at a CAGR of more than 13% in last 6 years. Then what are the advantages if you work with us? Advantage Gujarat. In fact, it is at a strategic geographical location with excellent connectivity. With a coastline of more than 1,600 kilometers, it is well connected to all major air and port-based trade routes across the world. And since 2003, when Mr. Modi started hosting Vibrant Gujarat Summit and kind of reignited the passion of being the best in the country and competing with the world economies, in fact, this Gujarat has started acting as a gateway to the northern and central markets of India. It provides immense business opportunities. You will be surprised to know that during Vibrant Gujarat Summit, there are more than 8 to 10 partner countries. All the leading states, they come to Gujarat. They host a state level seminar. So it is becoming a gateway. If somebody wants to invest in India, he would like to go through Gujarat. At least come to us, share their experiences with us, and then you can go and zero down on maybe Tamil Nadu or maybe Andhra. But Gujarat is in such a strong position that if investors come to Gujarat, they would prefer to invest in Gujarat only. And we have a gentleman from Maxis Tire also. So he has invested heavily in Gujarat and he is very happy. If we talk about business, it's not an empty talk. Gujarat is the best in India in ease of doing business. There is a bureaucracy which is supportive. There is a political class which is accessible, which is approachable, willing to listen, transparent. We were discussing informally before coming to the session that in Singapore integrity is number one. Then comes efficiency and excellence. In Gujarat, we transact the business in a very transparent manner. And that is the strength of Gujarat. That's why investors, they prefer to come to Gujarat. It's not like that before you come, there is a bureaucracy to register your investment. You will find the bureaucracy very supportive. I am here to talk to you. I come all the way from Gandhinagar. I work in Chief Minister's office, a very busy schedule. But still, we want to promote the state. That's why the entire team from Gujarat is here. And the team is not just a government team. I am the leader of the team, and I am the only officer from the state government. Others are from FICCI, they are from KPMG, they are from Invest India, they are different business leaders from Gujarat. So the maximum minimum government and maximum governance is there. I am the single person, I am the odd man out. Rest 15 are from private sector or maybe NGOs and all, and business community. I am the lone government officer in the delegation. So there is an end-to-end online system for consents and authorizations with free calculation. Investor facilitation portal has already been launched. This is working very well. We receive more than 5,000 applications in the month. We process it in time. There are prescribed timelines. Some applications are to be processed in 7 days, some between 15 days to 30 days. There is a timeline, and we meet the timelines, and the investors or the applicants, they are very happy about it. There is a random inspection system. A single inspector will not visit the company each and every time. He will be randomly allotted to different companies. So the inspector, if he is to visit the company for a certain kind of compliance, he would not be knowing that I am going to X company. It will be randomly decided. So all kind of things that were happening in the past, as ma'am has rightly pointed out, that these are the things of the past. Let us come out of it. The perception needs to be changed. Come and do business with us, and you will find the Gujarat and India a changed place. There is a lot of online and e-governance initiatives taken. You can get issuance of value-added tax and professional tax registration certificates within 1 working day in Gujarat. That is the commitment. This investor facilitation portal, which is being liked by the investors very much, this aims to improve transparency of doing business in Gujarat. And this is working very well. This is online for last 3 months, and government has kind of put the entire machinery behind it. So the complaint that the applications, emails are being sent and not addressed, this is more or less kind of a thing of the past. We are working to make it a success. The next issue that comes to the mind of the investor is availability of the land. India is huge. Gujarat is also big. But there are land parcels available throughout Gujarat. It's not only concentrated in Ahmedabad or in Vadodara or in Surat or in Rajkot. In fact, there are various industrial estates. Gujarat Industries Development Corporation, GIDC, has got different estates in different parts of the state where plots are available. You can come and kind of set up your industry or factory within no time. Then some special investment regions like I discussed about Dholera, the Haze, they are also coming up. Then there are certain special economic zones where you may find that these things are of interest to you. You may like to set up the factories and companies over there. And there is also a GIS-based land bank information available on investor facilitation portal, along with infrastructure and connectivity details. In fact, Gujarat is one of the best states with very robust infrastructure. So you will find good road connectivity, all-weather road connectivity with no potholes and all throughout the states. But like Maruti is coming in Mandal Behchraji, which is a place, say, around 70 kilometers from Gandhinagar. They want some roads to be constructed. And the government has committed that certainly we will provide good 4-lane road connectivity to your site. The presence of robust infrastructure, Gujarat is a power surplus state with installed capacity of more than 28,000 megawatt. And a sizable chunk of this comes from solar power. Gujarat is a pioneer in solar power. We have 24/7 uninterrupted power supply in all the villages and in all the cities, not from today, but for last 10 years. Like Prerna was saying, there are 18,000 odd villages which are not yet electrified in different parts of the country. But Gujarat is a leader. For last 10 years, the entire economy of Gujarat has changed because of 24/7 power supply. Then there is a state-wide integrated gas and water grid with 2,400 kilometer state-wide integrated gas grid and more than 120,000 kilometer of water distribution pipeline. We have excellent transport facilities with more than 97% of surface road out of total 79,000 kilometer of road length. We have 47 ports, 1 major and 46 non-major. We have 1 international and 16 domestic airports. So there is immense potential, immense connectivity. And what is unique about Gujarat is we are a policy-driven governance and regulation. If you look at different policies, the electronic policy came up in 2016, IT policy in 2016, sports policy 2016, industrial policy 2015. Manufacturing policy is the most dated one, that is 2013 policy. It's not that there was no policy before 2013. It was not that there was no policy before 2015. But we keep on updating on the basis of the feedback that we receive from the investors. Mind you, the change in policy at the national level, at the federal level, and at the state level, they go through very different kind of processes. When the federal governments want to make some changes to the policy, the federal government has to take care of all the states, which may be at different levels of development, with different geographical constraints, with different, maybe at the level of development. But Gujarat is by and large homogeneous. It has grown very well. Means there are not much regional disparities between different parts of Gujarat. So the change in policy at the state level is not that difficult as compared to a change in policy at the federal level. That's why all these policies are very, very correct on the basis of the feedback that we have got from different investors. So to sum it up, there are bouquet of tangible and intangible benefits of working with us, investing in Gujarat. Like we have enabling infrastructure, we are a power surplus state. There is a presence of entire value chain in key sectors. There is availability of skilled manpower. Labor peace. For last 10-15 years, there has not been even a single incidence of labor unrest or industrial action in Gujarat. Because of the management, labor, workforce relationship. There is an informality in everything. You approach, you access, you mingle with them. Management mingles with workforce. Workforce works with the management. And there is a win-win kind of situation. Gujaratis mean business. They mean workforce. They want to work. They want to earn. They want to make money. That's why even the smallest worker in an organization would not like to waste even a single day in kind of labor unrest and disputes. There are competitive wage rates in Gujarat. Despite being very developed, you will get sufficient manpower at a very competitive price. Then lower rate of land ownership and disputes. Again, it has something to do with Gujarati culture. Means very, very less disputes. Even the difficult kind of cases, not only in case of land, in difficult, maybe, if I may take liberty to say so, some maybe criminal cases, these are settled out of court. They negotiate with each other, they bargain, they sit on a table. That in a very, very business-oriented environment, they try to settle the dispute without coming to authority. They will not approach authority to sort out the cases. There will not be land disputes pending in the courts for more than 10-15 years, as is the case with many other different states. These will be settled in a very, very amicable and very, very business-like manner. And then there is economic freedom. Everybody wants to grow. There are success stories. We have success stories like a gentleman who was selling kind of washing powder on bicycle some 20-25 years back. He is one of the leading businessmen in Gujarat this day. A person who was a very humble man is one of the leading players. Adani's, Ambani's, Karsan Bhai Patel, and so many of them to name. So the aspirations are very high. Average Gujarati thinks that he can also become Dhirubhai Ambani. He can also reach to the heights of Mukesh Ambani. So there is an entrepreneurial spirit. Everybody wants to work, and you can reap the benefits that are available in Gujarat. Just a bit about the 8th Vibrant Gujarat Summit. It is much more than an investment summit. When we started it back in 2003, it was basically to attract the investment. Now this is more to do with business. We mean business. India is a big, big market. For last 3 days, we have met different leaders, different companies, different business heads, and everybody is looking at India with great hope because of the market that India provides. We are not an export-led economy where we produce and export everything. We produce and we can consume also. So it's basically make in India and we consume in India. So it's a win-win situation for the producer as well as for the consumer. The 7th Vibrant Gujarat Summit, which was held in 2015, was a great success. There was a strong presence of Singapore delegation in Vibrant Gujarat Summit. The delegation size were more than 120 delegates we received from Singapore. And we are expecting a bigger delegation this time. And it was led by Honorable Minister Ishwaran, and he met our Honorable Prime Minister. There was one-to-one meeting with the Chief Minister of the state. And some of the major outcomes, if I may quantify, with more than 25,000 delegates, 800 strategic meetings, 21,000 investment intentions, more than 1,000 strategic partnership agreements. There were 14 country seminars. There were 8 partner countries. 1,250 companies participated. And it was a huge success. It has grown from an investment summit to a business summit, where ideas are exchanged, where B2B, B2G meetings take place, and a good networking opportunity exists during these days. The key attractions that are planned so far for Vibrant Gujarat 2070 is those, some of them have been covered in the movie. We are organizing a Nobel Laureates Roundtable, where more than 12 Nobel Laureates are participating, they are exchanging ideas. There is a global CEO conclave of really a very high standard, where selected global CEOs and Indian CEOs are invited. Honorable Prime Minister is going to attend this conclave. There are going to be theme seminars on topics such as international development finance, innovation, startups and entrepreneurship, and smart villages apart from smart cities. Then Make in Gujarat seminar, which is the flagship program of Government of India, Make in India, and now we have taken a subset out of it, that is Make in Gujarat, on plastics, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, textiles and other sectors, because they are our core sectors. Then we are going to organize seminars on topics such as ease of doing business, PPP in infrastructure and urban development, then country seminars. We are also going to hold a large, medium and small and micro enterprise convention. Then there will be personal interactions with Honorable Prime Minister of India and Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat. And we are also going to host a Khadi and handloom fashion show. So Gujarat provides an opportunity. Gujarat is not new to the investors from across the globe. Gujarat is repositioning itself We have come here with new hope, with excitement, with vigor. We want to work with international community. We are a big market. We want to make money. You want to make money. And there is a kind of relationship between these two making of money in which there exists a possibility of win-win situation. Gujarati businessmen, they are really, they mean business. So if business which is based in Singapore, if they want to partner with their counterparts in Gujarat, I'm sure that would be a very meaningful partnership. Gujarat, you know, we trade with tradition, commerce with culture, and growth through governance. A transparent, proactive, competent, and capable governance at Gujarat. Thank you very much for hearing me so patiently, and I look forward to invite all of you to Gujarat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your very comprehensive presentation on Gujarat, the gateway of global opportunities in India. Our next speaker is Mr. Nirav Shah, Managing Director, Jai Atma Informatics Private Limited. Mr. Shah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Her Excellency, the High Commissioner, Mrs. Vijaya Thakur Singh, Shri Ashwini Kumarji, Secretary to the Honorable CM, Ambassador Pillai, President SMF, Mr. Douglas Fu, dignitaries, friends, and my fellow delegates. It's a pleasure to talk to you about one of the most promising sectors that is there today in India, which is the electronics sector. I'll talk more on the electronics sector rather than the IT sector, as it offers arguably the best potential that you have in the Indian market. My job has been made very easy when the High Commissioner talked about India's growth, the demographics, the technology, Digital India campaign, startup campaigns, Chandan Yojana. All of these lead to tremendous and significant increase in the demand for electronics in the country. It has a direct linkage to the consumption and affordability in the electronic segment. As we go ahead, I'll talk on the overall scenario in India vis-a-vis the electronic industry. I'll talk about the policy of the Government of India briefly and the policy of the Gujarat state when it comes to electronics industry. Electronics and system design manufacturing, if you look at it, India, the way it is growing and the way you look at the numbers, the demand has been increasing in 6 years. The demand has gone up from $45 billion and is expected to go to $400 billion in the next 4 years by 2020. It's already crossed 125 billion in 2014. It has also become an area of concern for the government, as by 2020 it is estimated to surpass the cost or the burden of oil imports. It would be the largest foreign exchange outflow if action is not taken on that. Considering that, and the way Digital India campaign is going to go ahead to reduce the digital divide between rural and urban India, we see a tremendous growth in this sector, and it has already witnessed a growth of 22% CAGR, and it continues to grow at a speed more than that. The government has a target to ensure that there is no foreign exchange outgo and to develop a system wherein the consumption needs of the country are met by production in India by the Make in India campaign. This offers a tremendous opportunity and a market to all of us present here to look at it. And it happens across all the sectors, be it telecom equipment, laptops, mobiles, set-top boxes, automotives, medical equipments, and it goes on and on as our life becomes more and more digital. I'll come to the policy, the national policy on the electronics, which is a very comprehensive policy. which looks at the entire ecosystem of the electronic industry, right from the manufacturing clusters, which are the infrastructure. There are capital incentives to the extent of 50% for the development of infrastructure for this industry. There are subsidies to set up units which go up to 25% of the capex, and there are benefits on the excise duties and the central taxes. 2 semiconductor units are proposed. The land has been identified and work is going on to take it to the next level. The government has set up a fund for electronic especially R&D, which is to the extent of $2 billion. And most importantly is the preferential market access policy. The government is looking at ensuring that at least 30% of the procurement that happens in the government is made in India, which offers a great opportunity and a market to anybody who comes and produces in India. And it's not leaving the soft skills aside. On the human resource side, it has set up very objective targets, right from having X number of PhDs to the number of skills with people with specific skills, which they have targeted would be around 1 million. So this is where the national government is looking at. Taking a cue from this, the Gujarat government also has been very progressive with all their policies, which we have seen in the presentation given by Mr. Ashwini Kumar, that the state has a policy well defined for every segment. And when these policies are framed, they are framed with a view to achieving market leadership in that particular field. They complement the national policy, they understand the advantages that Gujarat offers, and they try to bridge the gaps which are not there in Gujarat. And based on that, they create a policy. The Gujarat government has created a policy which is very objective. They have been very modest. They have targeted only $16 billion out of the $400 billion that is expected to be the market of India. They're looking at an investment of $6 billion and employment for around 500,000 people. It has identified centers of excellence, and the policy is also complemented by a separate policy for IT and ITS startups, which again will percolate into or take advantages of the ESDM policy of the state. They have identified land where you will find skill sets and appropriate environment for this kind of an industry. And these clusters are greenfield, brownfield, as well as prospective upcoming greenfield clusters. The policy is geared very well. It's a single window dispensation for improving areas of doing business. It has separate incentives for the clusters as well as for the units. It has focuses on skill development and training. It gives assistance by capital subsidies, capital interest to the extent of 25% of the investment. There are power subsidies. There are no taxes on power. There is assistance for quality certification as well as market development, and we all members of the industry are taking these advantages in one form or the other, and it has been absolutely smooth. We've never faced any issues when we've got ahead and utilized these policies in the past or continue to do so right now. And this policy will create an ecosystem which will enable or take advantages of the soft factors that are available in the state, which we have heard in the earlier talk by Dr. Ashwini Kumar. And strategically, it gives you access to the market not only in Gujarat but the entire northern India to almost the northeast part of India. It's strategically located, which you have seen. So I would, considering these policies, they're all available online. You can view them at your convenience. If you have any questions, you can reach out to any one of us, including there's a nodal agency of the government called the Index B, and they would be willing to give any clarifications that you have on this policy. And I would like to conclude, considering the time, that Vibrant Gujarat has been envisioned and institutionalized by our Honorable Prime Minister when he was a Chief Minister. It has become a movement and an engine for growth for Gujarat, and that model now is taken to the central level, and it continues to gain momentum. And we would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you to come for Vibrant Gujarat, or anytime you are in Gujarat, we would be very happy to welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shah, for that very detailed presentation. Now, let's break the monotony for a little while and let's have a little film on Gift City.
Gujarat International Financial Center. This is the place of business. This is the what, like the whole expo. It's a financial center,
financial service sector is fast emerging as the growth engine with world-class technology, seamless connectivity, state-of-the-art infrastructure, and the finest talent pool. Analysts forecast the sector is poised to contribute up to 10 to 11 million jobs by 2020 in India. Capitalizing on this, Gujarat government is developing GIFT, Gujarat International Finance Tech City, a global financial hub. Gujarat, a preferred investment destination due to its political stability, strong leadership, pro-business policies, and vast talent pool. What's more, its intrinsic entrepreneurial spirit, backed by reliable resources and strong infrastructure, only adds to the advantage factor. The geostrategic positioning of GIFT will enable operators to service geographically extreme financial markets by bridging far-flung time zones. Accentuating the advantage factors, GIFT is located between Gandhinagar and Ahmedabad and also connected to the fastest growing Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor planned along the NH8. GIFT also provides easy access to the Ahmedabad International Airport via a dedicated road link. Additionally, Metro and BRTS assures access to and fro from all sides. The bird's eye view reveals the futuristic design that GIFT is. A truly international and high-tech city spread over 886 acres of land by the riverside, the master plan is divided into two zones. A notified multiple services special economic zone with processing and non-processing areas, and the remaining area as domestic tariff area, the DTA. Urban form of the city is guided by superior infrastructure, futuristic buildings, immaculate green spaces, large water body, a well-connected transport network, wide sidewalks lined by beautiful majestic trees, and a fine balance between recreational and residential spaces. In this boundaryless world at GIFT, the building blocks are planned sans boundary walls. The most picturesque public space is the Samruddhi Sarovar, a recreation lifeline of GIFT connected to Tapas Udyan, the green lung of the city by a 60-meter wide pedestrian green boulevard. Tapas Udyan is flanked by an institutional zone that will offer world-class education and healthcare. Also, it has a fine executive golf course with clubbing facilities. The city will stand tall amongst its peers, recreating a dazzling skyline silhouetted against a river with Diamond Tower as its centerpiece, a 410-meter tall structure that speaks of a truly global image. Sizable foreground to the buildings and podiums will scale down the otherwise tall buildings. Facade guidelines are mandated for better orientation and natural light and ventilation. The city is being developed on smart, user-friendly, safe, eco-friendly, and sustainable infrastructure principles. Multi-level car parks, metro stations, public transport hubs, and elevated walkways make GIFT a pedestrian-friendly and safe city. GIFT is an eco-friendly city. It provides for 24/7 portable water supply, zero discharge discharge aimed by reuse of wastewater and automated waste collection system. GIFT also confirms 24/7 highly reliable uninterrupted power supply system. Cooling within GIFT is by most energy efficient district cooling system. A dedicated utility service corridor in the form of a large underground tunnel shall monitor, manage and facilitate the utility network of the entire city. Cutting-edge ICT, smart and intelligent building and infrastructure and city command control center truly make GIFT a futuristic city. Institutional framework led by GIFT UDA will oversee the urban development and facilitate single window clearance system. GIFT CL aims to plan, develop, operate and maintain the international finance tech city through several infrastructure-led subsidiary companies. These companies will provide municipal services, advanced technology support and focused sector-specific services to GIFT City. GIFT, a truly global financial hub where wealth creates wealth.
I hope you enjoyed the film, and it's now time to invite Mr. Jitendra Shah, Managing Director, Tipson's Financial Services, to make a presentation on Gujarat as a hub for financial services. Mr. Shah.
Thank you. His Excellency, Mr. Thakur Singh, Mr. Gopinath Mithai, our group leader, Mr. Ashwini Kumar, ladies and gentlemen. I think a lot of us have been talking about Gujarat and investment in Gujarat. It's a fact that if we keep on talking, still we are left out with so many things to talk about Gujarat, to talk about India. First, yes, when you think about coming to India, first thing you have to decide that yes, India has a potential for financial services. India has a huge market, has a consumer base, investor base and things. So whenever you think about investing in India or coming to India for either taking investments or doing investment, come to India. The moment you come to India, yes, Gujarat. Why not Gujarat and why Gujarat? And that is a very important aspect. And looking to all this fact, our then CM and now Prime Minister of India has derived that why not an investment center to be set up in Gujarat, when all Gujarati world over are investing in world or they are making others to invest in India. So that time the whole project has been conceived and it has been well designed and it has been well thought about it. If you consider to the size of this area, it is much more bigger than the Paris or Dubai, or even I'll tell you very frankly speaking, it is much bigger than the Singapore financial services area. So learning from all these existing financial services, they have derived and designed in such a way that it should be the future city by itself. So it's not only a financial service center, but it's a future city. It has been taken care of all ecosystem in place. Generally, whenever foreign investors comes, a big bankers come, they always have an issue that does this Gujarat or this financial city will get all the facility? Yes, the answer is very clearly yes. We have all ecosystem in place. They have been thought about a good schooling systems, a good firefighting systems, a good facilities and housing. And to your knowledge, I'm telling you, it's not only a film. If you come to the site, a lot of things has been happened. So morning we have one question from somebody, some gentleman, and it's the right question. That does this is a film or it's a fact? I would say it's a fact. Things are happening on the ground. We already have constructed 2 buildings and whole 2 buildings has been occupied. And that is all 2 buildings are 42-story buildings. So that is there. The roads are in place. The cooling systems and everything is in place. The school, international standard school, is under construction. The Gift City, if you see, there is the IFSC center, the first IFSC center of India. And now some of the bank has already been operative in that. No doubt the buildings are under construction, but see the kind of enthusiasm from the bankers. The Yes Bank, which you are well aware, is one of the fastest growing bank of India. They have already put up their foreign branch in IFSC center. One of our public sector bank, Bank of Maharashtra, they also have set up their foreign branch in IFSC center. Federal Bank is going to set up, and so many others are queuing up to do so. To your knowledge, I am telling you, because unless and otherwise an Indian big companies, Indian investors will not come, why the foreigner will come? So to question these things, our SBI, our lead bank, has put up their local head office over there, and they are also going to construct. Recently, before 1 month, they have inaugurated their these things. Reliance Capital, one of the largest financial provider in India, they are also committed 1.5 lakh square feet of the office space. So they are going to operate in our Gift City. So Gift City has a huge potential. So I will first say, please come to Gujarat, come to Gift City. At least when you come to vibrant Gujarat, visit once to a Gift City. Spare a day with open-minded that how you can compare with other part of the world, how do you compare with your Singapore, and how the other part of the world you can compare, and you can come and experience that thing. So that is the first very important aspect. Now I'll tell you why the advantage Gujarat. So that is my presentation. I'll go for that. We have talked about that business oriented. Yes, Gujaratis are very business oriented and business friendly. The quality of life, yes, Gujarat is a really peace making state. The people has a different mentality. Maybe yes, we are dry states, so we are not that very aggressive also. So you always have a very safe life. During the Navaratri and other festivals, you always have one good thing, that your family at home is very safe. But yes, at IFSC centers, we are going to provide you the non-dry states that are also there. Physical infrastructure, yes, we have been doing very well, and all physical infrastructure are in place. We are now creating metros, BRTS, and road network we are connecting very well. So that will be there. Gujarat has a huge advantage. If you see the surveys has been made by various agencies, so Gujarat has been the gross domestic state product. If you consider that thing in mind, Gujarat has been the #1 in India, and that has been consistently doing that. By doing all these overall surveys, considering the fact of the persistence of infrastructure, persistence of land, political stability, labor, economic reforms, and business climate. If you sum up everything, Gujarat stands #1 in India. I think that is a very good part for us, for anyone to come into Gujarat for investment, because that all put together make you very stable investment in Gujarat. The very important aspect here is that the priority sector lending. See, the banking, when you come to the banking into Gujarat, you always have a perception that if I come, of whether in NBFC or whether bank, where we have a lending opportunity. I'll tell you, Gujarat has been consistently doing that, and even in priority sector lending, we have been grown at 18.51% with $24.31 billion of priority sector lending, which is very far above any other state in India, and much about these things. Second, very important aspect, our credit versus our deposit, the lending versus deposit, we are at 80%. So all bank has 80% of credit deposit ratio, which is very much so the efficiency of the bank, that maximum of your fund which you borrow or which you bring from anywhere else will be deployed. And once you deploy, definitely you are deploying at some margin taking things. So where you take it and when you lend it, you have more opportunity for lending, and that lending will you give good result to be there with minimum of your NPA. Second very important aspect was that it was been surveyed made in Gujarat for the various manufacturers that would you like to expand your business? I think 63% has said yes. In next 5 years we are going to expand. And that expansion of their businesses will give an opportunity for bankers, for lenders, because nothing can be expanded without money. No business can be created without fund. And the moment the fund requirement comes, definitely the bankers or institutions will have a chance to do so. So I think that is also very important. And the credit also boosted up by 61. Total the credit offtake in Gujarat today advances is more than 61.94%. And it has been grown up at 14.35%, which is also very good. Compared to a GDP of 7.4%, we are growing at 14% for advances. I think that is also shows the double-digit growth, because our Prime Minister always says that Gujarat is a growth engine of India, and Gujarat remain to be growth engine. If you see the other sectors like insurance sectors, banking and insurance is also growing at 10.9% annual compounded growth, which is a very important aspect. The insurance, I am telling you, that any insurance company comes to Gujarat, a huge client is there, huge. So the size of Gujarat, as you know, that 10 times of the Singapore population, so definitely the population of insurance is also not been covered well. And there is a huge potential for covering insurance sectors also. During this year also, the number of bank branches also increased. See, the number of banks when increased, that itself shows the potential of the things. The bank has increased at 7.92%, and today we have the number of branches in Gujarat alone is 8,631, which is much more above than anywhere else. So you find that growth is there. The deposit of the bank, because Gujaratis are very savvy, they also believe in savings. They borrow, but they save also. While saving also, the Gujarat saving rate has also gone up by 11.49%, and today it is saving in Gujarat banks, means all are national bank, but Gujarat saving is more than 78.32%, $78.32 billion, sorry. As of now, what we talk about the GIFT City, I think I will again cover up the same thing. But you see, what you've seen in the film is these things, whereas this is fact. These are reality as on date. So it's not, we are talking on something on film or pictures, but it's a fact. These two buildings, iconic building of 42 stories, has already been constructed, operational, and more than 3,000 people are working over there. So that is one of the great things. So I think it is very important. Second thing, I'll tell you, one of my colleagues has already mentioned in morning, the opportunity for investment. The today in GIFT City, the land available at very throwaway price. It's 6,000 rupees per square feet. So it's nothing but $100 or something like that, which is an opportunity. This opportunity is available, I'm telling you, outside the purview, it's for few time, because the moment things will be operational, this price will shoot up. The people who have not invested early in Singapore in 1970s or 80s, or not invested in Dubai in 90s, must have been repenting. So I also request all of you should not repent, and this is the right time that yes, the lands are available, the ready-made buildings are available. Even government is also giving you the development rights for the land also. So those who want either to take out the building should be given a ready-made building. Those who want to develop their own spaces will be given a land parcel on a long-term lease rights. I think that is for 1,650 rupees square feet. That is also very excellent things. One more thing, when you decided that, okay, I want to construct my building, I want to lease out a whole plot, then what will be about my taking permission and all these things may be a hassle. But I'll tell you, the Gujarat government has set up a separate policy for GIFT City, whereby all the policies, all the permissions will be given on a single window. So that also will not be a problem for you. Because anyone who wants to take a land parcel It's very clear, I'll tell you, because you must be aware that in India people sometimes take lands and put it for appreciation. But in GIFT City, you just cannot take a land parcel and put it or slip it. You have to construct a building within 3 years. So that is the pressure. So those who has already signed an MOU, those who already been like big builders from Bangalore, Mantri, Sobha, Prestige, Reliance, and so many also has been shown their intentions, sign MOU and purchase the land, has no option but to construct and be operational. The moment these people are operational, the whole city will be operational and momentum will be created. So I think the ones that will be there, things are very clear. And since it is the first IFSC center of India, a lot of interest has been created, a lot of government support from federal government as well as state governments are there, and a lot of international people are already coming into their place. These are some of the list of some of the occupants in GIFT City, which are very prominent in place. Yes, we want couple of names from Singapore also, so that list can be expanded and relations can be also expanded. I'll tell something about me, not as a whole, but why Gujarat and why we are in Gujarat. It's not that financial services center is only Singapore, Mumbai or some big cities. We are a merchant banker. We are based out of Gujarat and particularly in Ahmedabad. We are number 3 in India, and we have been done this business within last 10 years, become number 3 in India. We have in last year mobilized around $40 billion for various debt markets instrument for various PSUs and private sector companies. To your knowledge, we are already dealing with couple of entities in Singapore. We are already dealing business with Barclays Bank Singapore, Deutsche Singapore, Credit Suisse. So we are already dealing with that for their investment purposes into India and Indian debt market. So we are already doing. We are also planning to set up our office into Singapore. So that can be a relation between Gujarat and Singapore or Singapore and Gujarat. There is a good potential for anyone to come in here and places that if you have any questions, answers or problem, yes, government is very proactive, particularly for IFSC centers and particularly for GIFT City. They can definitely support you all the way. So there is no way that one cannot grow in Gujarat, or for growth you need to become a Bangalore or a Mumbai or a Delhi. Yes, Gujarat will give you all the facilities on all these supports which you need for growth, which you need for development. So I think you are all welcome to set up your financial services center, finance this thing. So most welcome to Gujarat, and enjoy and welcome Gujarat. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shah, for that very comprehensive presentation. Our next speaker is Mr. Liu, Director, Maxis Rubber India Private Limited. Maxis was founded in 1967 in Taiwan and operates on 6 continents with 16 manufacturing plants and 5 research and development centers spread across the world. Maxis, after a thorough survey of India, decided and chose Gujarat as their manufacturing base. So, Gary, could you enlighten us on why you chose Gujarat? And
Her Excellency, Ambassador, and Secretary, and fellow delegate, and all the friends from Singapore. Kemjo. This is hello in Gujarati. So a little bit introduction more about myself. I'm the director of Maxis Rubber India. This is a tire manufacturing company based out of Taiwan. Currently, we are the number 9 largest tire company in the world, and we are operating in 180 countries around the world. So through today's presentation, there's no doubt why you should come to India and why you should come to Gujarat. But I'm just going to share a little bit experience of how I came to Gujarat. Okay. So the just one example of the ease of doing business in Gujarat, I would like to demonstrate. Just last Vibrant Gujarat, 2015, our group announced the intention of investing in Gujarat, in India and in Gujarat, that we're going to set up a 400 million USD greenfield plant to manufacture tires. And that was taking place in January in 2015. By March, our company got registered. By June, we got the land. By October, we started construction. And I'm honored to say, by the next Vibrant Gujarat 2017 in January, we're going to have an inauguration of our plant, virtual inauguration by the Honorable Prime Minister and the Chief Minister. Thank you so much. So this is just a timeline to show you how streamlined all the process has been for me to come to Gujarat. And before I come to Gujarat, I've been staying in, now I've been staying in India for 4 years now. Before I come to Gujarat, I researched many different states. Okay, unlike Singapore has, like Sir said, a 50 years relationship with India, Taiwan, the relationship is very young. We established diplomatic relationships starting from 1995 only. And there was a very limited resource for us Taiwanese to go to Gujarat, to come to India even, to find out where to invest, how to invest, and all these processes. So they have sent me to do the groundwork, to do the feasibility study. And I've visited about 7-8 states, ranging from Tamil, AP, Karnataka, Maharashtra, even Uttarakhand. All these states I've interacted with the state government individually. And I would like to say the greatest support and greatest experience that I have had is with the Gujarat state. All the policy are very streamlined. I will take this opportunity to introduce one gentleman. Himanshu, please stand up. He's from Index B. Okay, this is a single window contact for any one of you who would like to come to Gujarat and invest. Please remember his face and you can exchange cards later. Because Index B has helped me a lot through all the process, and I was very touched by all the services that they have provided. Now, so I would cut my presentation short, but through all these experiences in all the states, I've come to realize that one thing is very unique in Gujarat. When I go to Tamil Nadu, okay, there's a guidance bureau similar as Index B. They show me plots of lands. Okay, so when I go, I see plots of land, yes, but they're in farmland. There's no road. They tell me there'll be a road from 2 months from now. There'll be this water treatment plant 5 months from now, and there'll be this and that and this and that. So many promises I've heard for all the other states. But when I come to Gujarat, I said, where's the land? Here's the land. Where's the road? Here's the road. Even with gas connection available, electricity connection available, even all the how to say, the value chain has been created. Like for us, we're an automotive parts company, like Honda, like Maruti Suzuki, like Tata, like Ford. They're all our customers, and they form a cluster there. And that reassured us to make the decision, which is the right decision, to come to Gujarat. And I invite you again to come to a Vibrant Gujarat in January next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary, for that very enthusiastic speech, and I'm sure many of you would be very enthused now to attend the next Vibrant Gujarat Summit in January 2017. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of today's formal program. On behalf of the Government of Gujarat and our other partners this evening, may I thank you for joining us this evening. May I now invite you to join us for a networking dinner, which is being served outside, and you can continue with If you have any more questions, most of the gentlemen will be there to answer your questions. Thank you, High Commissioner, and